2, 3 into the 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is it's like this and like that and like this and
Alright, welcome guys to our first E&Lproductions. Today we're going to be showcasing and reviewing some of the sets that I've acquired recently. So first up, we've got the newly released on January the 1st, which was the Arc 170, which I did pre-order. So I received actually about a day or so before January the 1st, I believe. So as you can see, the play functions itself, well, firstly the build itself is about as accurate as you can get. I'm a huge Clone Wars fan, and it's a great throwback to it. So the player functions, well, obviously the main one would be the wings. You can retract or open up, which is obviously the main style and probably the inspiration for the X-Wing, or vice versa. It comes with 3 clones, named clones. So I actually originally forgot R4P44, I think it is, the R4 unit that actually comes with this. And then you also have the 3 clones, 2 of which are named. So you've got Clone Pilot Oddball, Clone Pilot Jag, and just a regular Clone Pilot, which you can see in here. So these are the 2 named, and this is the regular, I believe. And then, obviously, with all Star Wars, you also have the basic function of the firing shoots when you trigger, which is always an awesome feature to see and play with. And overall, it's just an amazing display case piece. We should hopefully, because obviously a lot of these sets got released due to the Clone Wars anniversary, hopefully we see a lot more. So we saw the Acclamator. I've heard the sets, the leaks for the sets to be released this September are good. If you want a video on that, just say down in the comments and I'll go over the rumours and leaks that have been heard so far across the internet. Yeah, so overall, I'd highly recommend. It's a great sleek thing. It prices at £69.99, which, as always, is quite an expensive thing. Lego has become massively expensive, but for what you're getting for the price range, I would say it's highly worth it, especially if you're a Clone Wars fan. Like, just the detail that's gone into it. Now, what we have here is soon to be retiring product, and is the Clone Trooper ATTE. It does come with some 212 Troopers, which you can see over this way. So here we have the 212 Gunner, which sits on top. And then over here, we have the it comes with 2 212 Troopers, I believe, and Commander Cody, I think. And then, so the actual set itself is much more a play piece than anything towards a UCS or anything like that. It comes with a nice little handle for easy manoeuvrability. It can take some beating and battering. You can slam it down. It doesn't really matter. So it would be ideal if it's for a play function. It would also be great for mocks. And then for these smaller features, obviously you have the rotating barrel for the main gun. All the turrets here are also movable. With these, as always, because of the ball joints, they do sometimes pop out of place like that. So you do have to be careful. But and then here we also do have an open up cockpit for your 212 pilot to go into. There we are. And then as for extra interior, you can open up the middle bit, which is great because it comes with little minute details like the spanner there. So this is probably where they'll do, you know, fixing or anything like that, maintenance wise. Try and put this one back together. And then the back also fully opens up. So the rear door fully closes down. The side panels open up to the side, and the top bit obviously goes up. Here you can fit 5 clones very easily. You can't close it with the clones in, but it's great if you want to just have it closed like that and make it so that they're coming out, which is how I like it. This one, price range wise, does go at £119.99, so just under 120, which once again is expensive. Obviously Lego inflation is a real thing, but once again, like, I'd recommend getting it whilst you can, because I do think it will increase like significantly in value if not taken now, because it is just a great set overall. And it would be great if you're trying to build a mock or anything like that, because even though it's not to fig scale, you could definitely have it as a background or even a focal piece in some kind of mock for Geonosis or something like that. But yeah, So that's the ATTE. So now here we have the Tantive IV set, and we also have the Tantive IV walkthrough, which includes, well, Darth Vader wiping out the rebels. That's from A New Hope, episode 4. So the Tantive IV we'll start on itself is just a display piece, as you can see here. It is immaculately good. So I have it as mostly as a display piece, as I'm sure you can tell by the dust. But it's like everything's just accurate, as accurate as you can get, really. Especially with the size, I think the detail they've put into it. Like if you even on top, like even though it's a small amount, you can see greeveling throughout, which is exactly what you're hoping for. It is kind of annoying with the stickers, so like here you can already see it peeling a little bit. But that's just Lego for you, really. But this one, I can't exactly. I don't think it came with any minifigures. I believe it price ranges at, I think it was either £60 or £80. But if you're looking much more to fill shelves and have like as a background piece, I say it's perfect. Like I have it next to the Invisible Hand, and then I also have the Acclamator that just released as well, which I also have next to it. But I'm loving these mini scale ships to display, really, because just even the underside, I'll take it off the stand. So the underside, sorry, you can see it's got the rifles there. It's got all the greeveling needed. They haven't missed any focus really on anything, which I do love about Lego, because even though you don't see much of the underside, they still focus a lot on there. And then obviously what comes next to it is the Tantive IV, like the boarding of the Tantive IV set. I believe this priced at $49.99, which I do think is a fantastic build. So here you've got the door being blasted open after Lord Vader shoots it forward, and the door does close to how it should be, and then it can open up to show on how they've done that, which I just think is a great play feature. And then obviously across the board you've got these little functions. So you have these like little things which will flick off. I don't know if you can see it there. Like, so if you have a trooper there, you can just flick them off as if Vader is using the Force, which I do think is a great function. And in the instructions, once you've built this set, Lego kind of gives you a little Easter egg where you can actually buy a second set if you can, and you can connect it on to create a longer corridor, which I'm tempted to do, to be fair. If I do, I'll definitely show you the update and tell you whether it's worth it or not. But for now, just this set alone is just, it's amazing, especially when you have it next to the Tantive IV, which like I do, it's just perfect. It also does come with Clone 5s. Now we've been waiting for Clone 5s for a while, and he goes perfect with the 501st. And it is a shame that they used the printed on waistcoats. The printing itself on the torso, I do believe is great. They've got the helmet, the arms, you can see the comms. The backpack, I think, is a nice little addition as well. So I do believe this figure alone is worth getting the set for, because it is just absolutely a beautiful figure. So overall, for the two, you'd be looking at, I believe, about the 120 mark, which when you're getting like an ATTE, which we spoke about before, which is the same price, but you can get these two sets, it's much more about what you want. If you want playability, I'd say go for the ATTE or the ARC 170. But if you're much more focusing on for display purposes like I do, I would definitely recommend bundling these two together. Right. Here's another set that also released on 1st of January, alongside with the ARC 170. It is the Acclamator. It is priced pretty heftily, I must admit, at $44.99, which may not sound much, but personally I don't think it's worth it. Firstly, I'll go over what I think is great about it. So firstly, we haven't seen an Acclamator in Lego, so it's amazing to finally get one, especially if you have the Venator, which I did recently acquire. So if you do want a video on my review on the Venator to see whether I think it's worth it, let me know down below. But as for this, the bridge itself is great. You haven't got much greeveling as such. They've kind of just kept it flat on the sides, but obviously with the size. The engines, I think, are great. Like, overall, I do think it's a great model. Now, what the downsides of this build is, obviously, you've got the stickers. I understand that it's more expensive to print them. However, I do think, especially with the price of Lego it is nowadays, it should be a go-to. Like, for example, with the Venator, which I will get into, there's there's stickers on there, which I think is ridiculous for a £559 set. But for this, personally, I'd say it's great if you have the money for it. And it's great if you have £45 lying around, because it does make a lovely addition. I love the ship. I love the Clone Wars. It's a dream come true. However, let's face it, the size of the ship is a bit underwhelming for £45. So even though it is a great ship, I wouldn't recommend buying it unless you have the money just lying around, because I don't think it's a must-have. But it is a beautiful set overall. So overall, I think we've showcased a few sets. I have plenty more sets if you do want to see them in the future. Like, for example, we could go over the minifigs and even possibly tips on how to start building for Clone Army, which I started about 2 months ago. I've spent a fair bit on it, but there is cheap alternatives. I just preferred to get it as quickly as possible. That's why I've spent a bit more on it. So looking from the ARC 170, the ATT, Acclamator, Tantive IV sets, overall, I think Lego's doing good up to now. It's pretty much what the fans have been asking for a few years now. So if you do want to see any more Lego videos, or if you have any questions or queries, or if you want to correct me on anything, just let me know down in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer. And I'll see you in the next one.